The sky over the planet Vera was a swirling mix of violet and silver, like someone had spilled paint across the horizon. The air shimmered with a strange energy, something humans had never encountered before. For Captain Alex Mercer, it was both beautiful and terrifying. He had been sent on a reconnaissance mission to the outer colonies, and now somehow, he found himself standing before the most feared being in this part of the galaxy, the alien queen of Vera. The first thing Alex noticed was that she was blind. Not in a human sense, but in a way that made her eyes shimmer with darkness, as if the world itself had vanished for her. Her long, iridescent arms moved slowly, sensing the air, the vibrations, the very energy of the environment. She didn't see him, yet somehow she was aware of his presence. "You are different," a deep, resonating voice said, though her lips did not move. The sound filled Alex's mind, echoing off the walls of the crystalline palace. "Humans are small, fragile, yet I feel something." Alex swallowed hard. He had trained for hostile encounters, but this was nothing like any combat drill. He stepped forward cautiously. I'm here as an envoy. My mission is peaceful. I come to learn, not to fight." There was a long pause. The Queen's long fingers waved slowly in the air, feeling the vibrations of his movement. "Peace," she repeated, almost tasting the word. "Yet you tremble. Humans tremble easily. But your energy, it calls to me." Alex wasn't sure if that was a compliment or a warning. The palace around them pulsed with strange light. The walls were alive, like they were breathing. He could feel a subtle hum beneath his feet. He realized quickly that the Queen was connected to everything here. The air, the stones, the light. She moved closer, her steps silent, her arms reaching toward him. Alex froze, unsure of what she intended. Then he realized she wasn't trying to harm him. She was searching. Her hands, long and delicate, moved over him, not in a threatening way, but as if she was trying to understand his presence, his body, his strength. "You are not like the others," she murmured. "The humans I felt in my realm before, none had your resonance. You are strong, yet gentle." Alex exhaled slowly. I'm trained to survive, and to help others. I think that's what you feel." Her fingers paused at his shoulder, moving in a gentle, probing manner. "No, not survival. Something else. Courage and kindness, you carry it in your being." Alex's heart raced. He had encountered strange aliens before, but none like this. The Queen's awareness was complete. She could sense the energy of his mind, the strength in his muscles, and the subtle warmth in his heart. It was like being naked without clothes, but somehow safer, because she wasn't malicious. "You must prove yourself," she said suddenly, her hands pulling back. "You are unusual. The humans before you, they failed my tests. They are weak in ways I cannot tolerate. You may succeed, if you survive." Alex felt a thrill of both fear and excitement. "Tests? What kind of tests?" he asked, trying to hide how nervous he was. Her laughter, or what sounded like laughter, echoed in his mind. "You will see. First, the trial of trust. You must let me guide you. Blind, you must follow me through the palace." Alex blinked. "You want me to let a blind alien lead me?" "Yes," she said simply. "You will either prove your courage or fall." The hallways of her palace were unlike anything he had ever walked in. The floors shifted slightly under his feet, and the walls seemed to pulse with life. Alex realized he could no longer rely on sight alone. He had to trust her guidance entirely. He reached out tentatively. Her hand found his wrist, firm but delicate, guiding him forward. Every step was a test of courage. Every turn, every change in floor texture, every vibration of the palace challenged him to stay calm, to trust, to survive. Hours seemed to pass as they moved through the palace. Alex could feel her awareness everywhere, her hands brushing lightly to check his balance, sensing his heartbeat, his breath, even his hesitation. She would whisper thoughts directly into his mind, subtle nudges asking him to trust, to step carefully, to follow. "Why trust me?" Alex asked finally, though he already knew the answer. "Because I am the only one who can test you fully," she replied. "Others see you, humans, only superficially. I see deeper. You must endure this and endure yourself." It was exhausting, both physically and mentally. Yet Alex felt something growing inside him. Not fear, not anxiety, but a connection, a respect and a strange admiration for this alien being. She had no eyes, yet she could see so much more than anyone he had ever met. Finally, they reached a chamber filled with soft, glowing light. The walls were smooth and the floor seemed to hum faintly beneath his boots. The queen released his wrist and gestured toward the center of the room. "Stand there," she said. "The final part of the trial begins." Alex obeyed, though his pulse raced. Suddenly, the walls shifted. Projections of enemies, creatures from other worlds, mechanical drones, and strange beasts appeared around him. They moved toward him, attacking, testing his reflexes, his courage, and his quick thinking. Alex dodged, rolled, and used his surroundings to defend himself. Each movement felt guided, as if the queen's awareness of him allowed him to anticipate dangers he couldn't see. The creatures closed in and he could feel their energy pressing against him, but he did not falter. Hours, or maybe minutes, passed in a blur of motion. Finally, the last projection vanished. Alex stood panting, exhausted but alive. He realized he had done it. He had survived her test. The queen moved closer, her hands lightly brushing his shoulders again. "You are remarkable. You have courage, skill, and empathy, traits my people value. I have not felt such a resonance in centuries." Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. I didn't know what to expect, but thank you, I think." Her laughter, soft and musical in his mind, echoed. "Do not thank me. You earned it. You are unusual, human. Perhaps the first I can call ally." For the first time, Alex realized that this queen, blind and alien, was not only a ruler but a being who could sense truth in a way no one else could. He felt humbled, awed, and strangely inspired. She extended a long arm toward him and he took it, feeling her energy flow around him, not as a threat, but as a bond of trust. "Tomorrow," she said, "the next trial awaits. But tonight, rest. You have done well." Alex nodded, still catching his breath. As he looked at her, he realized that this was only the beginning. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he now had the respect of one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. And that respect, fragile as it was, would be the key to surviving what came next. As the lights dimmed and the palace seemed to settle around them, Alex sat quietly. He thought about the strange connection he felt, the trust he had built, and the trials that were yet to come. Somewhere deep inside, he knew this mission would change him forever. And in the distance, the queen hummed softly, a sound that seemed to wrap around him, not threatening, not demanding, but acknowledging him as more than just a human. He had survived. He had earned her recognition. And tomorrow, the real adventure would begin. Morning light filtered through the crystalline walls of the palace, painting the room in soft hues of violet and gold. Alex stretched, feeling the aches of the previous day's trials. Every muscle protested, but he also felt something else, a quiet excitement, a curiosity about what awaited him next. The queen's challenge had been unlike anything he had ever faced. He had survived, earned her recognition, and somehow gained her trust. Today, her voice resonated inside his mind again. "You will face the trial of wisdom." Alex rose, brushing off the stiffness in his legs. The queen approached, her arms reaching toward him, not touching but sensing. "You must navigate the labyrinth of Vera," she explained. "Not with sight, but with perception, reasoning, and intuition. Only then will you prove yourself worthy of my alliance." A labyrinth. Alex had trained in tactical simulations, but this was unlike anything virtual. The palace around him seemed alive, and he could feel the energy of the walls pulsing as if they were aware he was about to enter. "Lead me," he said. "I will follow your guidance." Her hand brushed lightly against his arm, guiding him to the entrance. The labyrinth's wall shimmered like liquid crystal, forming corridors that twisted and shifted. The moment he stepped inside, he realized this was no ordinary puzzle. The labyrinth responded to thought, emotion, and intent. Wrong decisions were not punished with traps, but with disorienting illusions that could make a person doubt themselves entirely. Alex focused, closing his eyes briefly to calm his mind. He had learned yesterday to trust the queen's sensing touch, but now he also had to trust himself. The corridor shifted, and he felt himself drawn toward walls that seemed to pulse with a strange rhythm. "Listen to the vibrations," the queen whispered inside his mind. "Not everything is what it appears. Your mind must guide your body." He took a slow step forward, feeling the floor beneath him. The walls seemed to hum in response to his heartbeat, and he realized he could sense patterns if he remained calm. Every step was a choice. Every turn a test of perception. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Alex encountered illusions of enemies, of collapsing floors, and even of himself, doubts manifesting as shadows of what he feared most. Each time he reminded himself of the Queen's guidance and his own training. He remembered her words from the first trial: courage, skill, and empathy. At one point, the corridor split into 3 paths. 2 seemed safe, lit with soft pulses of energy, while one shimmered darkly. His instincts urged him toward the dark path. He paused, sensing the energy around him, feeling the vibrations under his boots. Slowly, he chose the middle path, trusting his intuition rather than appearances. The moment he stepped forward, the corridor shifted. Walls stretched and bent, revealing a small chamber filled with floating crystalline shapes. Each shape hummed with a different frequency. The Queen's presence was near, her energy brushing against his mind. "To pass," she said, "you must attune yourself to the resonance of Vera." Alex closed his eyes and breathed deeply. He felt the vibrations of the crystals through his feet, the hum in the air, and even the subtle currents of energy moving around him. Slowly he moved, matching his steps to the patterns he sensed. He reached out his hands, letting them guide him. Each crystal's hum resonated with a part of him: his heartbeat, his breath, his focus. Time seemed to lose meaning. Alex could feel the labyrinth shifting with him, testing his reasoning, his awareness, and his patience. Every misstep caused the walls to pulse more rapidly, almost as if warning him, but he persisted. Step by step, breath by breath, he attuned himself to the living rhythm of the labyrinth. Finally, he reached a chamber that seemed still. Crystals floated around, glowing softly. The Queen's presence was immediate, her energy surrounding him like a protective bubble. "You have done well," she said. "You perceive what others cannot. You adapt, you endure, and you learn. These are qualities worthy of alliance." Alex exhaled, relief flooding him. I didn't know if I could do it, but I listened, and I tried to understand, not just follow blindly." "That is why you succeeded," she replied. "Many humans rely solely on sight, on logic. But here, on Vera, understanding requires more. You have learned that. You are exceptional." He felt a strange pride, but also humility. The Queen's acknowledgement was not casual. It was rare and sincere. He had earned her respect not through force, but through perception, courage, and persistence. As they exited the labyrinth, the Queen gestured toward a vast balcony overlooking a glowing forest below. The trees shimmered like crystal, and the creatures within emitted soft melodic sounds. "This is your reward," she said. "The world you have protected, the beings you have preserved, and the understanding you now hold. But there is one final trial, the trial of leadership." Alex turned to face her. "Leadership? I thought my mission was to observe, to survive." "No," she said, her hands hovering in the air, sensing him. "To survive is one thing. To guide others, to inspire, that is another. You must lead those who cannot see, who cannot sense as you do. Only then will you prove yourself truly worthy of my trust." He followed her through the palace to a vast chamber where creatures of all shapes and sizes waited. Some were alien, some mechanical, some he could not even name. They moved nervously as he entered, their eyes or sensors focused on him. The Queen stepped back, her arms raised slightly in acknowledgement. "They will follow you if you show courage, wisdom, and care. Fail, and they may not survive." Alex's mind raced. He remembered every lesson the Queen had taught him, the value of perception, empathy, and courage. He approached the creatures slowly, speaking in calm tones, guiding them gently toward a safe path through a simulated storm. The creatures hesitated at first, uncertain, but Alex's confidence and steady presence encouraged them. Step by step, he led them through obstacles, avoiding hazards, guiding them around pitfalls. The Queen observed silently, sensing every choice, every hesitation, every moment of decision. Hours passed, and finally, the creatures reached safety. They looked back at him, their forms shifting slightly as if acknowledging his leadership. Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest, a mix of pride, relief, and connection. The Queen stepped forward, her presence enveloping him. "You have done more than survive," she said. "You have guided, protected, and inspired. Few beings could accomplish all three. You are extraordinary. Perhaps the first human I can truly call ally, friend, and equal." Alex exhaled, his body and mind exhausted, but he smiled. I only did what I thought was right. I didn't want to fail anyone. You did more than right, she replied. You acted with understanding, courage, and compassion, qualities my people value above all. For a long moment they simply stood, energy flowing between them, a connection that transcended language, sight, and species. Alex realized that the Queen had not only tested him, but had also allowed him to see himself in a new way. His potential, his courage, and his ability to inspire. Finally, she spoke again. The trials are complete. You have proven yourself beyond my expectations. You are no longer a visitor. You are part of this realm, a human who stands not above or below but alongside. Alex's mind raced, imagining the implications. He had survived physical tests, mental challenges, and now he had proven leadership and empathy. The Queen had opened a door not only to her trust but to a future filled with possibilities. As he looked around at the glowing palace, the forest below, and the creatures he had guided, he felt a sense of accomplishment he had never known. And in that moment he understood the true meaning of the Queen's tests. Survival was important, but understanding, empathy, and courage were what made a being truly remarkable. The Queen extended her hand once more. You may rest now, human. Tomorrow the galaxy awaits, and with you, perhaps it may see something it has never seen before. Humanity's strength not just in body but in spirit. Alex nodded, feeling a mix of awe and determination. The journey had been challenging, strange, and at times frightening. But he had emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected to the universe than ever. He had survived trials that no human before him could endure, and in doing so, he had earned the trust of the blind alien Queen, the most powerful being in her realm. And as the lights of the palace dimmed, bathing him in soft luminescence, Alex realized that the adventure was far from over. He had proven himself, yes, but now the real test awaited, not of skill or perception, but of humanity's ability to rise, unite, and face the unknown. With the Queen's energy flowing gently around him, Alex felt ready. He had survived the trials, learned to trust, and discovered strengths he had never imagined. Tomorrow he would face the galaxy, and with the blind alien Queen as his ally, he knew that humanity had a chance to shine brighter than it ever had before.